3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everyone, I am Paul, Mr. Cleveland Warren, living in Cleveland. I would say having less fun, but unfortunately, the person that I took it from is now gone. Some people are popping open champagne, while others are saying, he was a nice guy, who was like, okay. So I dedicate this one to the Limbaugh family, if you're watching, but I doubt it. So, R.I.P. But since he did radio, and you hear music on radio, why not the 16 worst music acts of all time? Number 16, Nicki Minaj. Oh man, she's all butt, no brains, and she's like you crazy. She's fugly. She really is. Her music's fugly. It's just I can't even listen to 2 minutes of it. That's how bad she is.
It's just inane and repetitive.
And her anagram name for Minaj is Jammin', but I'm not jamming to this. Number 15. This was a tie because these are two bands that actually changed their names. We basically knew them as the Dixie Chicks and Lady Antebellum. As I like to call them, the Karen Chicks and Lady Karen. Because of the whole damn cancel culture thing.
So they're tied at 15th?
Yes.
Even though they're two separate bands?
Right.
Okay.
And honestly, they have no soul. I've even listened to a couple Lady Karen songs. It was like, even their Christmas song, it was like, they covered This Christmas. They should be run over by the Soul Train. Because Donny Hathaway did his best, and there was no soul in that. So, and they should be sued by Alan Parsons, the Alan Parsons Project, because they did knock off Eye in the Sky. And Alan Parsons should have full credit with I Need You Now. Big time. And the Karen Chicks are like, oh, we were shitting at George W's. You're from Texas. The Bush family came from New England. They moved to Texas after the Second World War. And a couple of the Karen Chicks just were in Texas before, like, they were native Texans. So, okay, number 14, Michael Bolton. Oh, man, Mr. Mullethead. He covered When a Man Loves a Woman, and it's like, I'm so sad with my seltzer bullet. Can I touch you anywhere? So
yeah, Michael Bolton has a lot of terrible songs, but in the last 10 years or so, he's done a good job of being able to laugh at himself, and he's got a good sense of humor about it. He's actually a really good singer. He's just done terrible smooth jazz stuff and very schlocky crap.
Right. Number 13.
Number 13 what? Worst musical acts of all time, yeah.
Chris Tomlin. There was a time when Christian music and popular Christian music, you had Keith Green, you had Phil Keaggy, you had Amy Grant, you had one of my favorite Christian band of all time, which is popular, a pop band, is Lost and Found. I'll make a list about this one later because we've seen Lost and Found, and they were
good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a handful of actual like Christian groups that stayed Christian. Like Third Day was a good one, and they had a little crossover success. But Jars of Clay, and they actually had legit crossover success.
Also,
and they
Hall,
were
I
good.
kind of like them. It's the whole Songs from a Loft compilation.
And like not fake Christian groups like Creed pretended to be and stuff like that.
They made the list.
Oh, they did?
They're number 12, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay. Good segue then.
Yeah,
so,
number 12 is Creed. They were just they had a couple good songs, and then like that's it. But then unfortunately the lead singer got it on with Kid Rock or something, or was it both? There was a tape with them. Was it together or was it apart?
I don't think that Scott Stapp and Kid Rock had sex, so that didn't happen.
Oh, I thought it did.
Not with each other.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
All right,
Well, anyway, though, he was living a lifestyle where he was getting drunk and going to strip clubs all the time. So,
right,
yeah, that's...
So, there's another segue to number 11, Kid Rock.
Okay.
Because Kid Rock, he's like, I'm an American badass! Kiss my ass and I'm American badass! Yeah! Yeah, he's like Ted Nugent, but at least Ted Nugent had some talent, and I can't. And I'm sorry to say this, but I can't stand Ted Nugent sometimes.
Well, the tough thing with Kid Rock was that he had a couple of so he had the image, and he did his 3 or 4 albums where he was, the white trash trailer park kind of country rapper sort of thing, and then when he started doing like country ballads and stuff like that, his song with Sheryl Crow and that other one that was
All Summer Long.
Yeah, either where he sampled Werewolves of England,
Werewolves of London,
Werewolves of London, and he's singing about Sweet Home Alabama, right? So,
actually, they actually became a staple for classic rock cover band.
And the thing is that it was at least interesting that he went in a different direction. But those early days are reason for. Did you know that the woman who was my guidance counselor in high school, her daughter was the drummer in Kid Rock's band, though?
Really?
Yeah, that's a real life actual story. I'm forgetting her last name right now, but yeah, it was cool. She actually was friends with Kid Rock. Well, through her daughter, she actually got to talk to him a few times. It was like, oh, Bob's a nice guy. He's a normal kid, but it's all an act.
Yeah. Well, we
called him Bob because his first name's Bob. Right. I forget his name.
Okay, we're going to number 10, Marilyn Manson. It's like he took everything with Frank Zappa, Arthur Brown, David Bowie, and squandered it. It's like he had the talents of Charlie Manson.
Mm.
And you know how talented Charlie Manson was? That's why he went all ape shit and killed people, I think.
He wrote that one song for the Beach Boys.
Yeah. And he was a friend of Dennis Wilson. But the only thing Marilyn Manson did was like take like a supermodel, Marilyn Monroe, and then he took a serial killer, Charlie Manson. It's like if I wanted to make a band called Josephine Spector. I just took for African American History, Black History Month. Josephine Baker was a part of the Harlem Renaissance. She had a trope, and she went to Paris and did her exotic banana dance. She danced topless, and for her morality, and she actually was part of the civil rights people for the time.
And the Spector part being Phil Spector because he killed somebody?
Yep.
Okay.
And he was a nasty husband. So there you go, Josephine Spector. Number 9, Mitch Miller, the guy who almost killed Frank Sinatra's career. I have to put him on the list. Lawrence Welk got off easy because at least he's kind of one of those cheesy bands, which I might say the 16 cheesiest, like guilty pleasures, and Lawrence Welk is that. But Mitch Miller, he would not even have rock music on Columbia Records and until like he got Bob Dylan in, or someone had Bob Dylan to come in. But the thing is, people celebrated Frank Sinatra's 100th birthday. He's like, "Oh, Blue Eyes, don't ever mess with me, man." And he even said this to Mitch Miller: "Fuck you, Miller. At least everyone's celebrating my 100th." So, and because it is true. So
yeah, and Mitch Miller was a producer, right?
Right, he was a producer. record owner, manager, I believe. And
Was he ever actually in a band? Wasn't he?
he did albums called Sing Along with Mitch.
Right, and so as that as well, because these are what was the name of this again? Musical performers, right?
Artist performers.
Okay.
16 artist. You said it, but
All right. So and his albums were awful too, then, right?
yes.
Okay.
It was like,
and more than just your grudge against him because he hindered Sinatra's career.
yeah, and follow the bouncing ball, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wanted to really. They actually parodized the follow bouncing ball thing on Woodstock with Country Joe saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yay, we're gonna die, yeah. Okay, time for an intermission. I hope you're enjoying this episode of Warren Brothers Broadcasting Network, and we have a lot of other shows. We got Movie Sign, we got an album cover which is coming soon, as well as the Bland and the Spicy, which is a food show, and pretty soon the Warren Brothers Sports Show. And I hope we can get into the talk show sometime soon, which is not gonna feature my brother, but I'll be part of it.
Wait, I'm not on that?
Well, you're part of it. But,
okay.
But it's two other people. So
that thing that you're talking about that you want to do.
Yeah, pretty soon, maybe one day. But click and subscribe. So click and subscribe and hit that like button and get notified. And Mitch Miller songs could always use more cowbell. Like, follow the cowbell. Okay. Number 8, Bon Jovi. And guess what? I got an earworm from him.
Oh, yeah, because it was playing on the radio.
Yeah, and I turned it down. Oh, my goodness. It's hair metal. That's basically... That's a song, you know, how there was the controversy in the 80s about heavy metal making people kill themselves. Well, if you listen to Bon Jovi, you may want to kill yourself if you hear it one too many times. So, yeah, but
like I always say about him is that you can hear a song from him in 1984, and he played. He basically was coming out with the same song in 2014.
Number 7, AC/DC. Now, not because of their whole segue of like, or that subliminal message is Antichrist Devil's Children. That's not what they were named after. They were named after electricity, alternate current, direct current. That's what they were basically named of. That's why they're called the Thunder from Down Under. Now that's a lightning bolt. But the thing is that Angus Young guy wear pants, really.
Yeah, he dresses up like a schoolboy.
Yeah, schoolboy. Yeah, you dress like that now.
Didn't he pass away?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I think he's still alive, but he's still dressed. He's like 70, and he's still dressing like a child.
Yeah. If you're dressed like that, you should.
And learn like a 4th chord.
All
the AC/DC songs are 3 chords. I mean, I honestly think they're better than Bon Jovi. I wouldn't put them on a worst of list. The more I've listened to them lately, but they're good for. They're the same problem that Bon Jovi has. They write the same song over and over again.
Right.
Something to do with sexual exploits and loud guitar.
And I'm going to hell today. Want to go with me? Yeah. Why don't you just stay there in the cold part of the hell while you listen to your music like forever and see how insane you'll get. I don't know. That might be one of probably the first lead singer who, I don't know where he went, but number 6, Nickelback. That is, oh my God, that is just yuck. The band is really head up in the air. I'm a good song, yeah! Yeah, Nickelback, you suck.
That's another good example of a band that pretty much writes the same song over and over again. Look at this photograph.
Right.
Get on your knees and laugh. Paint the town. Oh, no, that's Kid Rock now, too, even. That's what a lot of these groups do. They just write the same song over and over again.
Right. Well, here's a band that's... now, this is going to cause a lot of controversy. Because number 5, guess who I put in there.
Number 5 of the worst musical acts of all time.
Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay. Well,
Here-
and again, they're another group that writes the same songs
Well,
over and
first
over
off,
again.
our family Hendrix people.
Right,
As well as
yeah.
other McCartney people, but they came at a time when Hendrix and Joplin died. It's like they wanted that kind of like that fix. You got Page's guitar wailing, and then you got Jimmy Page acting like Joplin's like, I'm taking another piece of my heart. I'm surprised Robert Plant did not cover "Piece of My Heart." The Move did. And they're all guys in that band.
One story that I liked that our dad would tell of when he was doing gigs and it was in between sets and the song was playing on the jukebox. One of the other guys in the band says to Dad, "Oh, I don't know this Janis Joplin song. I know what I said. It doesn't matter. Janis Joplin song." And our dad turns to the guy, and he says, "Oh no, that's Led Zeppelin. That's Robert Plant singing.
Mm-hmm.
It's Robert Plant sounded like Janis Joplin."
But the reason why I put them on the list is because they were plagiarists.
Yeah,
that's the reason why I can't stand the band, because they plagiarize.
A big thing with what was the guitarist's name again?
Jimmy Page.
Jimmy Page. Is that so? He had been in another group, and at least one or two of the songs, the Yardbirds, and the riffs are directly from that and from like old blues songs, right. that you would hear.
Mm-hmm. And actually I think Jimmy Page takes everything too damn seriously. Rob Plant at least has a little bit of humor, but Page, I think he just takes himself far too seriously. It's like he's like, look, I know you had a couple of songs you were credited on. You were credited on Sunshine Superman, as well as other Donovan songs, as well as with a little help from my friends, the Joe Cocker version, which Paul McCartney actually said, damn.
Well, and ultimately, there's a good clip out on the internet. You can find it somewhere. If you're watching this, to tell you kind of the person that Jimmy Page is, he does this little bit with the guy who's the lead guitarist to U2, The Edge is what he goes by.
Not confused with the wrestler.
I know, that's just Edge. He doesn't call himself The Edge, and Jack White, and of course me in my age range, I'm going to be a Jack White fan, and honestly, I just like what Jack White does. He tends to pull stuff off I've never heard of before. The Edge is very much a sound effects guy. If it weren't for wah-wah pedal and stuff, the Edge wouldn't be much of a guitarist. But then you have Jimmy Page, and he's showing him stuff that he did, and he's very very pompous about it, and it's got to be played that way. And Jack White's kind of like riffing with him and making it sound pretty cool, and the Edge is just lost. So the guy from U2, but Jimmy Page, at least it showed a little more of a slightly human side with him. But Paul kind of hit it on the head there, is that Jimmy Page is very much about like the accolades, and he'll tell you, "Oh, I was on this album, and he sounds great on albums. And of course, when he plays live, it sounds really good too. But it sounds live the same way that he plays it on the album.
And that's why Page and Beck could not get along when they were on
Jeff Beck,
because those two were at. I think Jeff Beck
Jeff Beck is a heck of a guitar player. You want to listen to some really good guitar, go find some Jeff Beck clips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So number 4, Kids Bop. This is like if you thought Chris Tomlin butchered Christian songs, like you made Christian songs worse. Kids Bop made pop songs worse. Like I want to fly, la 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 la. Some tone deaf Kids Bops. It's like they got them from the Cars for Kids commercials.
So every single child singer on the Kids Bops albums are the 4th worst artists.
Yes.
Okay.
They all
just all of them.
Yeah, because the whole Kids Bop albums, they just eat. It's like they take Sesame Street and Barney. They make Sesame Street and Barney listen to. Well, not Sesame Street. They had some good songs. They make Elmo and Barney listenable.
Okay.
I love you. Yeah, we have like that's gonna be one of our lists too, because there is a Tickle Me Elmo doll upstairs that I might just. Okay, number 3, the whole cast of Glee. They've made albums too. It's like,
and just everyone on that show is a terrible singer.
Somewhat. It's like that's like Kids Bop in grown up version or high school musical. Glee is also a show that they try to be like Fame that was from the 80s, and they just crapped all over it. Glee.
Well, what really made Glee annoying is that it literally is about a Glee club in a high school in Ohio.
And, well, I'll be truthful. If I did go to a high school, I probably would have been in the Glee club.
Yeah, that sounds like your cup of tea. I would say it's... So just to pick one person, because she was the name on the show and she was the lead character whenever, Leah Michelle, and she's had something of a singing career.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they keep trying to repackage her as some sort of a pseudo Bette Midler type.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm not the biggest Bette Midler fan.
I kind of like some of her stuff.
But at least Bette Midler can have some power in her voice sometimes,
Yeah.
and she can legitimately sing, sort of. Leah Michelle is nowhere near even in Bette Midler's range. So yeah, if there's one particular member of Glee, yeah, just about everybody on Glee sucks, but Leah Michelle's certainly up there.
Okay, number 2. Anyone who has been on American Idol, basically, that is another one of those shows that's like, so you think you can sing? She bangs, she bangs, she bangs, bangs, bangs.
Well, that guy wasn't even a winner. I mean, so you're saying all the people who suck, and then everyone who's finished in the top 5 and has won also sucks. So everybody sucks. Right. There were a couple guys who could sing, sort of. Yeah. Wasn't there Chris Crowder? What was the one guy's name? The bald dude.
I just like
Daughtry. He had a couple good songs.
I just like to call that show American Idiot.
Carrie Underwood was an American Idol winner, wasn't she?
I think so.
So she could sing. But yeah, so out of the majority, there's been thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. I think the show's back on again, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Katy Perry's involved or something.
Right.
Even people who are hosts on there. Paula Abdul. She had one song that was good, maybe 2. But everybody who's ever been on that show just sucks.
Right.
This isn't a top 16 list at this point. This is like a top 16 million list.
Okay, well, I got some dishonorable mentions too.
Of course.
I will say that
I'm going
to say Green Day because they try to be like this. We're new punk and whatnot. And then Johnny Rotten from Sex was like, "Oh, I'm Rotten. I hate Green Day. I want to crap on your face one day. I'm Johnny Rotten. I'm rotten to the bone. Yeah, go ahead, everyone."
Yeah, Green Day's a bunch of sellouts. Who else in your dishonorable mentions?
Well, in some ways, Leonard Skinner.
Okay.
Because Freebird.
It's so overplayed.
There's like many of the modern musicians out there, like probably Katy Perry. It's like most modern music is just the same, and it leads to number 1, which is any band that's using an auto-tune, because that's what most of those new bands use. You never heard Frank Sinatra use an auto-tune.
Yeah, and technically they had some of that technology available back in the 60s and stuff, right?
And like the Earth, Wind, and Fire song, they made the auto-tune thing sound cool.
Right, in the 70s, bands started using it.
But you never had Bob Dylan's like use an auto-tune thing. He's like, because even though it's like, I'm running down America.
That was part of the appeal to Bob Dylan, was the fact that he couldn't sing.
Right, and that's what the thing about it is. Now we have to have people to sing, and the worst of the bunch is the Black Eyed Peas. They rely on auto-tune. Big time. Yeah,
and they're a great example of what's wrong with it. Like, it's one thing if a rapper like Little John's using it in some songs.
Yeah, what? Okay.
Right, and that's done to enhance the tracks, kind of like Earth, Wind, and Fire with disco. But with Black Eyed Peas, she used to try to make Fergie sound like she can sing.
Right. And
same with like your Britney Spears and types like that.
and then
a lot of them
and
can't
Justin
sing.
Bieber.
Yep, he's another good example.
Yeah, he eats, and also like I mentioned, all the other new, and even in some ways shares like, hey, it's a new Cher song.
Yeah, that was the song that brought back auto-tune and put it in.
But she did fine with Gypsies, Trance and Thieves, Dark Lady, Half Breed, I Got You, Babe, and Even If I Can Turn Back Time. Even though it would be a funny sketch if
yeah, I know you love that video where she's dancing around in that V.
Okay, yeah. So, but that is basically it. It's like the top 16, top Lord knows what. So I'm going to give you a little bit of preview of next week's show. We have 18 people get captured in a secluded mansion, which is all in Italian. Also, a female lady going on a crazy sex cruise. Roman emperor who had his horse as part of his leadership, as his cabinet. And no, not Joe Biden, but to be funny, there's also a live-action animation combo with Alec Baldwin's ex-wife. Home Alone, a movie that should never have been made, and even a unfunny spoof film. It is the 16 worst movies, in my opinion, ever. And Tor Johnson's in it too. He makes out with all of them, or something, or chokes him, or blows on him. So I hope you all have a good afternoon. I am Paul, Mr. Cleveland Warren, signing off.